G'day there guys, it's Connie here again, and we're back with some more stories from Reddit. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. As usual, hit like and subscribe and all that stuff, and let's get straight to the stories. Okie dokie, we're on relationship advice. This one was written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, My ex-fiance ghosted me before our wedding. It's been 16 years, and now she wants to talk it over again. Should we reopen closed wounds? I was never given an explanation. She just left and told nobody. It was literally right before our big wedding ceremony. She didn't leave a note, nothing, just left. Even her family were left baffled. She just up and left. We had dated all through high school and all through college. She eventually returned, but not to me. I had to learn via a third party, her parents, that she had no intentions of coming home. She wanted nothing to do with me and told her parents to avoid having me around. I never got a choice in the matter. I respected her wishes. I never understood why she did it. My only guess was she had a mental breakdown because she cut off all contact with everyone. We were both young and still growing. I don't know, but I've struggled with it since. Out of the blue, she DMs me on Facebook after all these years and wants to meet up. I'm an influx of emotions right now. Angry, nervous, hopeful, sad. I still have feelings for her. I don't know if I could take her back, but looking at her Facebook makes me miss her. She's even better looking than she was before and single. I'm conflicted. She won't talk about anything as to why she left. She said it's best to do so in person. The only thing I can tell is from her Facebook is a bunch of stuff about her being weak and living a life full of shame and regret and being lonely. This is dumb. She ghosted me and I should want nothing to do with her, but damn it, I still have feelings for her. I never stopped thinking about her. What should I do? Ghost her in return? Call her out? See where this date takes us? Damn, I mean, it's completely on Opie's discretion whether or not he meets with her, but yeah, I think in most cases this probably doesn't end up perfect. Let's go to the comments. First off, damn Opie, that's rough. 16 years is a long time. Would meeting up with her set you back in the time you've spent getting over this, or will it give you the closure you never found? Opie says, I don't know, I just want closure. For the longest time I thought she'd cheated on me, but the only things I've been told from her family and the few friends she didn't cut off, it's more like a mental breakdown. I know she was scared to death about the wedding and her looming finals and her career. She was beyond stressed. She ghosted everyone. She gradually came back, but I was never involved. I've never stopped thinking of her. I was thinking talk to her, get some closure, right up until this, quote, she's even better looking than she was before and single. This is not going to have a happy ending. I've been in your situation, although she returned after a year, edit, I think it was more like 2 years, and tried to make things like they used to be. I'm going to tell you something very important. Her explanation will not be enough, and it will not be closure. You're probably a stronger, better person these days, I hope, so meeting with her might not set you back. It will probably upset you because nobody should ever be ghosted like you were. There is no excuse. The weeks, months, maybe even years where you were left wondering are over. They don't matter. You've lived on just fine after a while, and nothing she says will change that. Meet her if you want, but she doesn't deserve the satisfaction of at least I told him, without being told off for it. Best of luck. She had a lot of opportunities to explain. 1, before the wedding, 2, after she left, 3, when she went back to town, 4, when she talked to her parents, and 5, right there when she sent a Facebook message. She has avoided all of these for 16 years, and even told her parents that she didn't want anything to do with you. Now that she only wants to explain in person, I think she just wants to use it as a hook to make you agree to personally see her, an opportunity to push her new agenda while you're vulnerable. Love yourself and do not go back to this horrible and selfish person. It's not like she was kidnapped or something. She ghosted you for 16 years. I wouldn't even respond. It seems like you need closure, but as everyone else says, 16 years is a long time, and you yourself have probably changed quite a bit as well. I would go into this meeting with the intent for closure, but nothing else. Remember, she ghosted you before your wedding for 16 years. Yeah, now for an update, 2 days later. Well, that was something. I got closure at least. We met at a cafe and sat and talked outside. The first thing I noticed was how badly scarred her arms were and how much pain was in her face. Long story short, She wanted to break up long before the wedding. She was too weak and cowardly to speak up for herself. She had a complete nervous breakdown over everything. She had been tired of being forced into doing things she never wanted to do and never having the guts to stand up for herself. She was mad at her family, pressuring her to get married and pump out kids. She was mad at them forcing her into a degree that she didn't want. She was mad at herself for not being able to speak up. Nothing she did was justified, which we agreed on. When I first proposed to her, I did it in a public area. I'd put her on the spot, and she wanted to say no, but she couldn't bear to see me hurt. She was right. I made all the choices for her. I was a very different person back then, and she was very meek, as in she just went with the flow and had no backbone. I drowned her voice out often, and often never gave her the chance to grow to be a person. Back then, I was often focused only on myself. Well, everything came to a climax, and she had a complete mental breakdown. She ran away from her problems at the behest of her best friend and only person in the world she ever trusted. As she said, it's the only thing she knows how to do, run. She never had the spine to speak up. Her life just spiraled downwards. She did a few years homeless after her best friend's husband kicked her to the curb. The rest of that time was spent in prison, which she didn't specify what she did. She was released about a year ago and has been turning her life around. She has a job, she's reconnected with her parents, and she's finally reconnecting with me. She never stopped trying to get in touch with me. As for our future, we have none. We both agreed to end things and go our separate ways. We both are changed, two different people. We have nothing in common and don't live near each other. She doesn't justify what she did, nor does she want to be forgiven. She thinks it's repulsive and is ashamed of her actions. I wanted to be angry, but I couldn't. I just forgave her. With that, we shook hands, said our goodbyes, and that will likely be the last time we ever see one another. It's bittersweet. I got the closure I wanted. We both did. It feels like a burden was released. I know now we never had a future together and never will. But on the other, I'm sad because it's over. All these years, maybe hoping something would happen, were for naught. But in the end, this is an ending and I finally have closure. Not many get to say that. Do I believe her story? Yes, I do, and even if she's full of crap, at this point, does it even matter? I've always known her to be very weak-willed, meek. She often just does what everyone tells her to do, and often runs when things get too difficult. She avoids her problems because was too weak to stand up to them. I mean, it makes sense why her family would not talk to me about her. They were the typical tiger parents that disowned their problem child. And some more comments. One commenter puts a lot of blame on the friend. Opie says, her friend was an enabler, we all were. Her friend was the one who encouraged her to run. Of course, nobody forced her to, it was all her. If I hadn't ignored her problems, if I'd actually been a part of her life, I might have seen. It is what it is, though. Opie, when asked how they met during the pandemic and the public proposal, he says, it's semi-open, we ordered takeout. We sat in the parking lot. Not ideal, but so be it. And on the public proposal. The proposal shouldn't be the surprise when it happens. You should know 100% before you do it. As in disgust, it is what both of you want at some point. Dropping it at random does put a huge amount of pressure on the other person if they're not quite there. The truth is, she was right. I dropped the proposal on her on purpose in public to ensure she wouldn't say no. I was only thinking about myself. It never occurred to me she was unhappy. It never occurred to me she was very uncomfortable with the public proposal. And when told his ex was bullied by a lot of people leading to the jilting, he says, I abused her. There, I said it. I neglected her needs in favour of mine and forced into a marriage. I'm no better than her mum and dad, really. It pisses me off. Of all these frickin' years, I never realised how frickin' rotten I was. And Opie answers once again on meeting during the pandemic. Because people don't frickin' read, not every goddamn place in America is closed. They remained open, but are limiting to takeout only. My state, and by extension my town, are not under lockdown. We've not had any cases here. This isn't rocket science. Whoa, a lot to unpack there, and a lot that I feel like we didn't get. One comment says, I'm glad they both got closure, but just from the comments and what's not being mentioned, it's clear there was a lot more going on than is said in the post. Someone replies, Yup, the prison thing is interesting. If we figure about 2 or 3 years, maybe 4, before she went to jail, that's a dime in prison. In the US at least, usually you serve half your sentence before you get paroled if you're on good behaviour. That means 20 years? No idea what could net 10 to 20 years, but my guess is a large amount of drugs that ended up qualifying as intent to distribute. Maybe possession with some kind of enhancement from violence? Hard to tell. I guess maybe manslaughter? You never know. His behaviour is odd. Like the "yeah, I abused her" thing is, yikes. I hope he's just being too harsh on himself, but if not, frick man. I would never have thought a person could look better after several years homeless, combined with a decade in prison and coming out at middle age versus their early 20s. Yeah, well, it's never too late, I guess. Anyway, guys, we're going to leave that story there. As always, give me your thoughts in the comments below. And we're moving on. Okay, well, on relationship advice, this one was written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, "My professor groped me and offered a better grade for sex." Obvious trigger warnings here, guys. I'm sorry, I'm very distressed. This just happened and I don't know what to do. I'm also scared that he uses Reddit and might see this. Disclaimer, I'm on mobile and this is a throwaway. I'm an undergrad in my second year of classes, and this semester is the first time I've had this professor. He seemed like a really nice guy, and I approached him after the first or second class to talk to him. He was really nice and answered a lot of my questions, and we even chatted casually for a bit. At the end of our chat, he wrote down his phone number and handed it to me and said to message him whenever. I was ecstatic because I really struggle in my major, and I felt like he was investing in me. Over time, he would message me about random things, and even from time to time, he would message me if I hadn't turned in a homework assignment or if I hadn't come to class a particular day. I asked around, and he hasn't done this for any other students. He's given his phone number to some of the students, but they're all at the internship at his other job that he's a supervisor of. He would sometimes flirt with me, and at first I thought the special attention was nice and would flirt back. He would sometimes have me stay after class or ask me to come back if I'd left frequently. It's always been vague or subtle, never truly direct, until recently. My finals are next week, and I admit I'm not doing the greatest in his class. I will pass, but with a C if I do well on this final. I had asked him if there was any extra credit available. He then asked me what I was willing to do. I said I would do pretty much anything to get my grade up, and he then began to make some subtle references continuously as the conversation went on. He never stated over text explicitly what he wanted. Today, class ended early and I headed back to my dorm. He then messaged me and asked if I still wanted to make that plea for extra credit. I said that I still wanted it and was waiting for him to tell me what opportunities he had for me. He said something generic, so I asked if he wanted me to come back like I've done previously. He said yes. When I got to the classroom, he asked if I was truly willing to do anything and if I was willing to go down that route. I was nervous, but I still felt nice having that special attention, and I stupidly said yes. He essentially offered that I would have a good grade in the class if I sent him explicit pictures of myself, and if I would, quote, go back somewhere with him sometime. I agreed to the photos, and after I'd sent a few, he asked to see them himself. I thought he just wanted me to flash him. He told me to go to the back of the classroom so no one could see me from the window and the door. He then locked it and stood between me and the door and my backpack. This is when I started to regret being there and was scared of what he might do. He asked me to take off my shirt. I did, and he touched my boobs. Then he asked to see my butt and pulled down my pants. He touched, and then my vagina, which he also touched. I said I wasn't comfortable doing anything else, and he let me go. He asked if I was free tonight, and I said I was busy with a friend, and he left. The gravity and the weight didn't really hit me until after, and now I feel really gross. I joked with my friends that this might happen, but I never truly thought it actually would. I feel so uncomfortable. I'm also scared to file anything because he's grading a large project soon, and he'll be grading my final. This class is in my major, and I really don't want him to take any anger out on me. I'm also scared because he's never explicitly stated that he was willing to trade sex for my grade over text. He only did it in person. Do I really have any evidence at all? How do I prove that he touched me? This is such a small department, too, that I'm scared everyone will know it was me. Please, any advice for what I should do? Edit, I forgot to mention that I realized the number he gave me is a Google Voice number and not his actual cell number. He's only been contacting me through that. Does this mean he's been planning this from the start? And just for context, because I didn't read it in the title, but the professor's mid-30s and OP's 20. Okay, yeah, first of all, really disgusting that he would use his position of power to solicit something like this in the first place. And second, as to what to do, yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of with OP. It's going to be pretty hard, considering it's more he said, she said at this point. Let's see what the comments think. Steps to follow and what I would do. 1. Gather anything that can be used as proof. 2. Don't spread the word about it in your college, since the teacher might hear about it and go defensive mode and plan something. 3. Ask for appointments to the counsellor and dean about a very sensitive topic. You don't have to say on email what it's about if you don't want to, but giving an idea of what it's about might be good, since they'll take you in ASAP as an urgent matter. 4. With a copy of all the proof, show it to the dean and counsellor and explain what happened verbally too. And 5. Comply with the college. If they aren't happy with the result, go to the police department. Every second matters. Most importantly, do not give in. A valid point you can make is that the teacher purposefully lowered your grades in order to make you the offer. All schools and colleges have extremely effective and harsh punishments about this kind of stuff. You'll be fine. Opie replies, "Thank you so much. Do you think it would be alright to wait until morning? I feel really gross and it's already been so hectic. And I'm still scared and I know how much this will ruin his life. I know I shouldn't feel bad, but I feel really bad about that too." And another commenter replies, "Do not go to a professor or dean. Go directly to the Title IX coordinator at your school and file a report. Many staff who are mandatory reporters fail to understand their duty. At worst, they'll tip off the respondent before you make it to Title IX. File the report, and if you need proof otherwise, you can supplement the report later. It is important to get yourself protected from retaliation and further harassment. The Title IX office will be able to protect you in that regard." Opie updates in the comments. "Thank you to everyone who has been incredibly kind and has sent messages to see how I'm doing. I do have a support system in place and they've been incredibly helpful. I've documented the event and emailed it to myself. I'm at the very least going to file a complaint in the Title IX office. I told someone else in my class and we compared some of our tests and noticed I lost a lot of points where he lost few or none at all. Also, we noted that in my final project, I was paired with a student who was supposed to fail the class and given a week later start than everyone else. I've written these down and documented this as well. The professor has continued to message me and I've been replying to keep his suspicions that I might report off of me." I also just wanted to let some of the meaner comments know. I'm not saying I was assaulted in any capacity. I did fail to say no when he began touching me, but I never said yes, and I was in a situation where it was incredibly hard for me to say no until it became far too much. I agreed to photos and for him to see, not to anything else. I'll update once I go through the process of reporting. Thank you to everyone who's given their input and given me their strength. Okay, an update, 17 months later. Hi everyone. It's been about almost 2 years since I posted, but I wanted to give an update for anyone who cares or had been in a similar situation. I ended up going to the Title IX office at my university and they were incredibly helpful. They helped me every step of the way and still continue to assist me when I have difficulties in my classes or in life. They helped me contact the police and begin an investigation. The professor was immediately fired from his position at the university and from his other job. He was the head of an internship at a company that was popular with students. He was found to be purposefully sabotaging my grade and coercing me into sex. Several other girls also came forward and confirmed similar had happened to them. The department head was less than helpful and even asked me not to speak about it to anyone to avoid damaging the reputation of the school. I'm in a male-dominated department and honestly I didn't expect much. I haven't spoken to any reporters or lawyers about the situation and I'm unsure if I ever will. I don't have any updates on the investigation. I haven't been to trial and it's been a debate in my own mind if I would even want to. I've had a restraining order filed and I try to move on and heal. I still have difficulty trusting male professors and get a lot of anxiety at the thought of being alone with them. Academic stress really triggers the trauma of the situation I was in, so school can be doubly difficult for me. It'll take me an extra year to graduate at this point, but I try not to beat myself up over it. The university has given me free therapy through their health centre, and I've been in it for almost a year and a half. The healing process takes time, but I'm happy I'm growing as a person. It's a terrible situation I was victim in, but it's my responsibility to heal from it. He robbed me of a lot of my security, but he won't take any more from me. I'll take it back one day. If you are ever in a situation where a professor is making you uncomfortable, tell someone. I began by speaking with my friends, and they were the ones who recommended Title IX. You are not alone. It's not your fault. You are not dirty or gross. You are a student. They are the ones in power. They should know better. My DMs are open for anyone who ever has questions or needs help. I wish the best for you. You are strong. You are capable. You will get through this. Oh, what a great ending. I mean, call me cynical, but I really did not expect the university to pull through like this with the Title IX and all of that. But boy, am I glad they did. Some final comments. Thank you for the update and for coming forward. I'm glad that there were resources available and that some people were helpful, even if others were not. I'm glad that a-hole is gone, and I hope he's never in a position of power that he can abuse again. Good luck with your continued journey. Opie says, thank you so much. It feels a little like justice, but I try to get closure on my own rather than spare any thoughts to him. I'm glad for this update and that he lost his job, but please reconsider not going to the police. This dude deserves to be punished for being such a piece of human garbage. She replies, I did. Within the first few days, the Title IX lawyer actually came to me to file the report. They haven't contacted me with any updates since a year ago though, so I've no clue where the investigation is now. Someone adds, if this school is in the USA, your county likely has a victim advocacy agency that can act as a liaison between you and the police to get those updates. It's your right as a victim to be informed throughout that process. RAINN may also be able to help connect you to these services by routing your call to your local sexual assault agency. Hope this info is helpful in case you want to hear more about what happened with the criminal case. And she says, I might just do that. Thank you for the helpful info. I work in the Title IX, and I'm so glad to hear that the Title IX office at your institution was helpful. I know sometimes Title IX gets a bad rap, but I and everyone else I know who works in the Title IX really cares about helping students. I'm glad they were a good support system for you. And Opie says, I was surprised by how helpful they were. They didn't shame me or make me feel uncomfortable. They were 100% supportive of any action I wanted to take. Even when they reviewed the evidence, texts, tests, assignments, other student reports, they always made sure to emphasize that my comfort and privacy was above all. The efforts they made and still make for my sake have made a world of difference. Yeah, and that's great to see it working here. Anyway guys, we're going to leave that story there, and that's it from me today. Hope you enjoyed those ones, thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Cheers.